RBI today decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 6.5% and has maintained its stance of withdrawal of accommodation. The RBI also lowered its inflation estimate for FY24. So what does this mean for the Indian economy going ahead? Let's unpack the RBI's MPC meet outcome with Lakshmi Iyer, CEO, Kotak Investment Advisors. Lakshmi, good evening and welcome to the show. An extended announcement or policy that already was on card, an extended pause in the rate hike. What will you say?
Absolutely. Looks like the gratification, or those that were seeking gratification, in terms of at least an indication towards is the RBI going to pivot? I think for those, sections of the market, clearly there has been some disappointment. But otherwise, it looks like the policy decision was pretty much bang on. It does make sense from a domestic macro perspective also to stay on hold, not to mention the fact that even the global headwinds, which are currently quite palpable, clearly warrant an extended pause.
Right. Let's talk about the inflation targets. For FY24, it's marginally less from 5.2 to 5.1%, but the emphasis is on getting it down to 4%. Now, I want to understand from you, does this mean that this, even if it's a pause, but higher interest rate will be a scenario for a longer term or slightly more than what we all expected if it's 4%?
So, well, the target or the goalpost is 4%. And of course, you have that leeway of give or take 2%. So, from that yardstick, definitely you're within the realms of the reach. But clearly, if you pinpoint the bullseye, you are, some distance away. Even if we look at the aggregate for FY 2024, it's likely to be closer to the 5 to 5 quarter kind of a range. So, I think what it also means is that if globally, which is specifically the US, you start getting cues of a pause, maybe after one more rate hike at max. I think that will give much more comfort to the policymakers also in India. Because if you notice, there was 5:1 voting to retain the withdrawal of accommodative stance. So while the majority still believes that this should be the way forward, I think when the US starts probably pivoting or talking towards a rate cut in future, I think that's when, of course, inflation definitely is important, but it's going to be very difficult to envisage that the globe starts easing interest rates and India would probably wait for a more durable reduction. In fact, India is doing much better than the globe with respect to the inflation numbers.
But then what about the commodity prices which were factored in even in the governor's speech, where if the monsoon, which have arrived finally a week later though, and has never happened in the last 7 years, if the trajectory over here goes off track from the monsoon perspective, will we would see the inflation target being revised again?
Well, that is a possibility right now, but at the current juncture, honestly, it won't really be a base case assumption, given the fact that even as we speak right now, we're a good 60 to 70 basis points undershooting of RBI's own, say, a Q1 or Q1 projection of inflation. And even if inflation actually surfaces because of the probability of, say, an El Nino increasing, could the impact be a 20-30 basis points uptick on inflation and maybe an equal amount of reduction in growth? I think those are something which will evolve over the next 2 quarters. So I think it's fair to say for the good part of FY 2024, I think this would be the extended rate pause that we are looking at.
So looking at the current stance, how do you think the bond yields are expected to move? Or earlier when we spoke, you mentioned that it's going to be a very range-bound movement. Obviously, we'll have to see the developments, how it's happening globally. But so far, it's the same status?
Absolutely. In fact, Kavita, I must say that, the bond yields have almost discounted anything and everything that can potentially go right. And with this, Canada surprise rate hike and prior to that, Australia rate hike, bond yields are kind of getting into a small consolidating groove. US yields are also high. So I think maybe near term yields could rise a little bit. Again, nothing very materially significant, but I still maintain that that range of 5-6 basis points lower end to another 5-6 basis points higher end, with Fulcrum being in and around the 7% mark, could well be the direction for the 10-year benchmark in India.
6.9 to 7.15%. Is that the range that we can expect it to move?
I think that's a fair range that we can go with.
So now, keeping this particular range in mind, and also considering that the interest rate that people are seeing on the fixed income, including your fixed deposit, any short-term play, is that recommended?
Well, at these levels, given that the portfolio carry or the yields are looking still reasonably high, it's a great opportunity to try considering looking at investments in the band of 2 to 5 years, rather than keeping yourself too much on the lower side, given the fact that over the next maybe 3 to 4 quarters, the reinvestment risk, which means the same money which matures and you get it back, the chances are that you could redeploy that at a lower level. I think that probability is reasonably high. So I think 2 to 5 year bucket is a great window of opportunity, whether you buy it through term deposits, through direct bonds, through AIFs, or through mutual funds.
So, because FD ladder is quite a trendy concept these days, everywhere on social media we are seeing people making videos and helping people understand what exactly it means. You're trying to say that FD ladder is something that you should avoid, or maybe just do it for not more than 3 years right now if you want to?
So right now, as I said, the sweet spot is right there in the center, where you can, probably stagger depending on what your liquidity needs are. But trying to, if the liquidity requirements are not very near term, then trying to position yourself somewhere in the 3 to 5 year bucket. It could be a combination of term deposits, because there you compromise on liquidity, and good quality bond portfolio or direct bonds. A combination of these three is what you could certainly look at.
For medium to longer term, maybe for 5 to 7 years, if one wants to stay invested for that particular time horizon, you think that there'll be a benefit of capital appreciation and one can really look at it if that's a strategy?
Absolutely. In fact, we've already seen traces of that over the last, not just one quarter, but over the last 3 to 4 quarters, because a year back where we were to where we are today, rates have clearly come lower. So definitely one can, probably extrapolate that. It could be more of a frustrating sideways movement in the very near term. But, who said these portfolio constructions are for the next 3 days or 3 weeks? These are clearly, with about 3 years at least in mind. And there, the potential for capital gains in this portfolio still remains live.
Any take on floating interest rate bonds or funds?
So, usually floating interest rate instruments or funds are a great friend to have when you expect interest rates to keep rising, or just at the start of the rate cycle. We are at neither junctures right now. So whether it's on your investment side, it definitely makes sense for you to try to have more fixed rate instruments, or portfolios which have higher fixed rate instruments, which can allow you to enjoy the carry and not reprice itself lower. Well, if you're a borrower, definitely floating rate is not a bad bet.
And the EMI not going down soon?
Well, that, as I said, is also a function of how soon you start seeing banks or non-banks try to reset their rates lower. Our sense is it'll happen, but surely with a lag. Liquidity is coming back into the banking system, so that usually precedes resets on the loans. So not like today, tomorrow, but certainly over the medium term, you could expect some of that with a lag of 2 quarters.
So far, so good. There is a pause in the rate hike scenario, but then that doesn't mean that you don't have any avenues left to invest. Short term can be looked at, and if you're a long term investor, medium to long term is again a good time frame to look at investing in fixed income. Thank you so much, Lakshmi, for being on the show and helping our viewers understanding today's policy. We take a quick break, and post that we'll be joined by Anant Ladda, with whom we'll talk about various aspects of your investment, whether it's investing through an SIP or maybe even buying a ULIP. How should you be cancelling your investments? What about switching your investments? All of these nitty-gritties with Anant Ladda after this break. Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thapliyal. Now, when it comes to investments, such as SIP or mutual fund or ULIP, switching to other schemes may seem a cumbersome process for many investors. Many investors are unaware about the formal processes to switch or cancel their investments. Let's welcome on board Anant Ladda, founder Invest Arch for Kal, to understand these processes. Anant, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to talk about various technical aspects of an investment, and let me start with mutual funds, okay? We know how to start an SIP, but a lot of people don't understand the switching aspect of it. Switching within an AMC from one fund to the other of the same category, from one category to the other, how complicated it is, what is the process, and when should one do that? Most important.
Hi, Kavita ma'am. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on the show. See, if we talk about mutual fund, doing any work in mutual fund is very, very easy. At times, it might feel difficult, especially if you're doing it for the first time. But yes, it is very easy. If we talk about process, there are basically multiple processes, either of which you can follow and switch or redeem your amount which you want to do. First is you can directly visit physical office of a particular AMC in your city and get it done. Secondly, you can go online on the AMC website and fill out your details of folio and your bank details, and you can get everything done over there. Third, if you have done your investments via a broker or maybe a mutual fund distributor, you can ask your distributor. He'll get everything done on your part, and he'll get it approved from you and get it executed. Finally, if you have invested via some mobile app where you can directly track your investments, there you will always get an option to stop an SIP or maybe to switch an investment or to change SIP. Every option you will get there. So these are multiple options which are available with an investor, and he can choose any of these options. It's absolutely okay. If your SIP is done online, it will take around 7 days to stop your SIP. If your SIP is done in physical mode, it will take 21 working days, which means that if you are stopping your SIP today, your next installment or your next investment will probably get hit to your bank account, and you have to ensure that you are keeping proper funds for it. Otherwise, multiple bank card charges, different bouncing charges for if an SIP is not able to hit on your bank account. When should one stop his or her SIP? There can be various reasons. First reason can be that your goals have changed. Second reason can be your risk appetite has changed. Probably you have excelled well in your life. You have probably got a promotion, and now your risk appetite has increased. So if your risk appetite has changed, then probably you will need to review your portfolio. Third is there is sudden emergency which has come by, for which you need fund, or for which in coming time you won't be having liquidity to continue your SIP. Final is that your fund is not performing and you feel that this will continue to underperform, and you want to take a tactical call and change your fund.
All right. Are we supposed to pay certain amount of fees if we are switching funds within an AMC?
As such, there is no switch. You just have to ensure that whatever amount which you have invested in last 12 months, there might be an exit load which is applicable, which is usually 1%. So this is one point which you have to take care. Other than this, there is no charges.
On each SIP, you mean?
Whatever amount you have invested in last 12 months. For example, if you have given 12 SIP investments, then those 12 months unit will be applicable for exit load.
All right, so this was about mutual funds, but then let's talk about insurance and especially ULIP plans. Okay, we all know there is a lock-in till 5 years, but then what if after 5 years, or maybe within even that time frame, you realize this particular plan or a fund in ULIP is not performing or you've not made the right choice? Can you exit the plan even before the lock-in period?
Redeem the funds. Obviously, you can't redeem it, but yes, there are option to switch your portfolio, and you can make 4 switches per annum without any charges. Post that, there will be some small charges. While it might sound very interesting to switch our portfolio and to manage it actively, but we have to ensure that inactivity is very important if you want to make wealth. We are talking about switches, and we are talking about redeeming your or changing your funds, and there is a possibility of changing your fund 4 times an annum, but it is not advisable to do so. But yes, there is option available as far as product if we talk about.
Switching the funds if you've bought a ULIP, but what about redeeming your investment or stopping your investment within that time frame of your lock-in period, 5 years?
See, you can't redeem your fund. If you are stopping your fund, then whatever insurance amount which was allocated to you, that will probably stop, and your fund will go in a stop fund account. You will be able to redeem it after 5 years, but yes, other benefit or additional benefit will stop accruing, and you will get small nominal amount of interest rate going forward.
Can we redeem the amount after 5 years?
Absolutely, yes.
And what about traditional insurance policies? Do we have to stay for whatever time duration you've bought it, or you can exit those kind of traditional policies by paying some kind of a charge, a surrender charge or whatever?
See, it completely depends on the policy which you have taken. There are some money back policies which comes with a clause that you can redeem it after 7 years or maybe after 5 years. In some cases, majority it is after 7 years. So you will have to follow whatever policy you have taken according to that rule. And if you want to find out what is the exact rule which is applicable to you, there is a proper offer voucher which you have signed. On that, probably 11th or 12th point is regarding redemption before the tenure. So you need to read that point.
What is the time frame within which we get our money after once we took an action to redeem the funds from the policy?
See, it is T+3 to 4 working days in almost all the cases. If we talk about equity mutual funds, we get our funds maximum in next 3 working days. If we talk about liquid, obviously in liquid funds, we get it the very next day. But if we talk about ULIPs, T+3, T+4 working day is the time horizon which we should accept our money to be, in which we should expect that the money will be credited back into our bank account. Yeah. So T+3, T+4 is the usual time horizon. Working days.
So in effect, it's 1 week that one should really count in.
Roughly, you can say that.
24 hours for mutual funds? Except for the liquid
mutual
funds.
fund T+3 equity mutual fund. They say T+3, but usually funds get credited in on the 2nd or the 3rd day.
When you're switching your funds in an equity mutual fund, Anant, do you have to make another portfolio or a new portfolio? Folio, not portfolio, folio number.
See, no. Switching usually, rather always happen in the same folio. If you make a new, if you want to make a new folio, then you will probably have to redeem your fund and then reinvest it back. In switching, it always happen in the same folio, under the same folio.
What if we switch to a different fund of the same AMC and we do not redeem the previous fund's amount? Is that allowed? We just start a new investment, or when we are switching, we are also switching the amount invested in the previous scheme.
See, mutual fund is a product where you have all the options with you, and you can put all the permutation and combination, and that will be available for you. If you have an existing fund, you want to stop that SIP and want to start SIP in new fund, you can do that. If you want that whatever amount you have, you want to switch it back, switch to different fund, you can do that. But you have to ensure that last 12 months unit, there will be exit load of 1%. This is the usual thing which is applicable. If you want that your new SIP should go in the new fund house and your existing fund should remain invested, that is possible. If you want that your new SIP should go in a new fund house and And also you want that your existing amount which is invested, it should be redeemed and it should be parked in the new fund of the new fund house. That is possible. So every permutation and combination, whatever you can think of is possible. You just have to ensure that whatever fund you are switching or talking about switching does not have a lock-in period. For example, ELSs have lock-in period of 3 years. So obviously these rule won't be applicable over there. But in general, majority of the funds, it will be applicable.
All right, now let's talk about NPS and what is the fund switching criteria out there or scheme switching criteria?
So in NPS, you can change your fund manager. Right now, 9 to 10 fund houses are providing you NPS facility. You can change your fund manager, that is the fund house precisely, once per annum. And you can change scheme twice per annum. That is allowed. And this is the switching rule which we have in NPS for both tier 1 and tier 2.
And what type of schemes are available?
You have combination of all. You have combination of equity, debt, or maybe even government securities. So you have multiple options to choose from. According to your risk profile, you can choose a fund where you want to invest in.
And
almost all the AMCs, and almost all, sorry for cutting you, and almost all the AMCs have all the options available.
Any cost for switching the funds or the schemes?
Cost is usually varying from 15 rupees to 500 rupees at max. This is the cost which you have to pay in certain cases. That's it. Nothing major amount.
I think that will be all. We spoke a lot about the technical aspect of switching and cancelling your investments in equity mutual fund, insurance and NPS. Thank you so much. On that note, we'll take a quick break. Post that, we will answer your portfolio-related queries. Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thapliyal, and there are a plethora of funds available in the market to invest your hard-earned money. But how do you assess which is the right fund for your portfolio? What are the criteria that one should look at to help you navigate through this maze? We have on board Shweta Jain, Investography. Also, do not forget to send us your portfolio queries on our WhatsApp number, which is 865-797-4571. You can also email us your queries on themoneyshow@etnow.tv. So, hi, good evening, Shweta. Welcome to the show. And we also have our first viewer online, Rajesh from Bangalore. Rajesh, hi, good evening. How are you doing today?
Hi, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Okay, so you want to begin your investments?
Yes, no, I am. I've been on and off with stock market, but I'm just trying to see, like, I have some surplus amount. I want to look at some investment instrument which will give me a constant income every month.
Okay.
Should I go for a mutual fund, or I should look at investing in the stocks?
You already have a stock portfolio, right?
Yes.
All right, so let us guide you with mutual funds. Right now, you have 50 lakhs that you want to invest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the monthly income that you're looking at, and after how many years?
50,000 per month. 50K.
After how many years?
Probably after a year.
After a year. Okay. Will you be investing more?
Yes, I will also be doing SIPs also.
You will be doing SIPs. What will be the amount of that?
So it will be 10,000 per month.
10,000 per month beyond 50 lakhs that you already have. All right. Shweta, do you want to ask any more questions? Because I think this was needed for you to plan an SWP of 50,000 per month. Anything else you want to ask him? Sure.
Yeah, hi, Kavita. I want to ask why he needs this monthly income from this portfolio if he has a surplus that he can invest. Because the more time that you can give to your portfolio, it will grow. But if you need cash flow from it, it limits our options. So I just want to understand why he needs
Sure.
this income.
Rajesh?
I'm looking for the constant income to manage my monthly expenses so that I can save more and do more investment.
So there is no backup. You really will rely on this amount. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Shweta, I think our options are limited here. So 50,000 after a year, and right now he can invest 50 lakhs, and he's also willing to do an SIP of 10,000 every month.
Right. So I'm a little confused with the contradiction because if he needs the money, 50,000 from this to manage his regular expenses, the 10,000 SIP, from where is he going to get that? That's, I think, something that is still confusing to me. Nevertheless, for 50 lakhs, I
Let's
think the
just get that thing sorted. Rajesh, you said 10,000 SIP. You are
Okay. Yeah, let me clarify that. So whatever the loan, housing loans and personal loan I have, right, I would be paying based on this income. That's why I'm looking at. I don't want to have the loan EMI eating up my income, monthly income, right? I am looking for a constant income which will supplement the payment of EMIs.
Can you increase this time duration to 2 to 3 years more?
Yeah, that's fine. 1 or 2 years we can manage, yeah.
All right. So, Shweta, I think, and you may want to correct if it is wrong. Let's look at the time frame as to from when he can get 50,000 after investing 50 lakh.
right. So I would recommend that he starts usually withdrawal at least after 3 to 5 years, because that's when you have some money that has grown. Because from a 50 lakh portfolio, 50,000 monthly income to get at this point will be difficult. Yes, if he can push it to 2 years, it becomes slightly better, but not too much. Of course, if he pushes it to 5 years, it gets a lot better because it has time to grow. So if you push it to 2 years, our options are still limited. I would then recommend that because he needs that 50,000 per month, he withdraw that through an SWP, because that was one of his questions, that whether it should be dividend or SWP. Systematic withdrawal plan is the best option here because he needs that on a regular basis. You can't count on that for dividends. So SWP is going to be our option. You will need to put in a debt fund so that money is safer. So what I would recommend is then you do like a 10 to 12 lakhs in a debt fund then, because then that's safer and it's growing and you have your cash flow sorted for 2 years after 2 years from today. So it starts from 24 months later. So you have about 6 lakhs and per year coming in. So 12 lakhs will be your mark towards that. So that gives us 4 years at least. So the rest of the money, which is the rest of the 38 lakhs, is something that we can look at growth. So we'll do a combination of balanced advantage funds and equity. So I would recommend something like an HDFC balanced advantage with a combination of UTI Nifty 50 and maybe a little bit of small cap, because we still have some time to go. So maybe a little bit of Axis small cap. So a combination of these three. So if I were to divide it, I would do about 15 lakhs to 20 lakhs in UTI Nifty 50 and divide the rest equally between balanced advantage and Axis small cap. The balanced advantage money can move to debt after 4 years. So when we've completed 4 years from today, balanced advantage money can give him the next cash flow that he needs, and the rest of the money can grow. And you'll have to time it a little when you get to 5 years to 6 years from today, and start moving the equity money to debt so that your cash flow continues.
All right, Rajesh. So 3 to 5 years is the time frame. You have to let your money grow in order to have that regular income of 50,000. Shweta has given you a plan. Anything else that you want to ask her?
No, I think, yeah, that answers, yeah. Thank you.
All right, all the best. We move on. And Shweta, we have our next viewer online, Amit. Amit Chatterjee from Bankura, West Bengal. Hi, good evening, Amit. How are you doing?
Yeah, hi, good evening, Kavita ji. I'm fine.
Thank you so much for sending us your question. Amit, we have your funds. You have 11 funds, and good that you have lined up your financial goals for retirement. After 18 years, you want 3 crores, daughter's education. After 10 years, you want 80 lakhs. After 20 years, 1 crore for daughter's marriage. And you also have an emergency fund. You have created one. You have medical insurance, which is your own and company provided as well. You have a term plan also. And wow, congratulations. I think your portfolio is like an example, a true portfolio example for rest of the viewers. Shweta, over to you. 11 funds, difficult to manage for him?
Yeah, I think a little bit, but I have to commend him that he has continuously, looks like he's continuously been increasing his SIPs because that's what it looks like to me. And of course, he's put his goals so clearly. I think that gives us a lot of clarity. So for these three goals, he would need to invest about 51,000 56,000 per month, and he's investing 50. Yeah, he's need to invest 50,000 per month. He's investing 56,000 per month, which I think is great. So he will get there. My only question would be to him on retirement after 18 years, if 3 crores is going to be adequate and that cash flow there. But I think that is a question that he can sort of contemplate while saving more and more, because it does look like he is pushing on that front. So keep doing that. 11 schemes, yes, I would think a couple of schemes are not really relevant for you, considering your time horizon. The earliest you need money is 10 years from now. So something like a HDFC hybrid equity, you don't need to do SIP in that. I think you can continue to focus on equity. Something like a Bandhan flexi cap is fine. Kotak small cap is fine. Kotak flexi cap, again, I would say this money, there's too many flexi caps in your portfolio. So I would say a Parag Parikh flexi cap is good. A Bandhan flexi cap is fine. I think between Kotak and Aditya Birla flexi cap, choose one. There's 8,000 and 5,000 going in those schemes. So one of those you can choose. The rest actually can go towards a bit of emerging blue chip and SBI small cap, because these are things that will keep you going for the long run. So one scheme you cut down there, and I think between ICICI blue chip and ICICI value discovery, I would go with blue chip. I don't like the value discovery here in your portfolio. I think otherwise it's a pretty good mix. And I would, like I said, I commend you on both the goals and the fact that you're continuously increasing your SIPs.
So Amit, congratulations. Shweta, also you're trying to tell me that just with 50,000, okay, and 56,000 in fact, it's needed is just 50,000, but he's investing more, and with this amount he can accomplish all of these three goals: his retirement, which obviously he needs to rework on, but daughter's education and marriage, and that's a benefit of long-term planning.
Yes, it is, because he does have a 30 lakh corpus today.
Right.
So that goes a long way as well. So 18 years from now, the 30 lakhs is growing tremendously. So that I think gives him a huge boost.
That is what we try to explain our viewers also, power of compounding. Amit, congratulations. Anything else you want to ask Shweta?
Yeah. I just want to know one more thing.
Yeah.
Shall I add any mid-cap like Motilal Oswal or PGIM mid-cap in my portfolio after cutting down what Sweta ma'am has suggested?
Sure. Shweta?
I actually want to cut down the schemes, which is why I suggested. But because you have flexi caps in your portfolio and they do have a decent amount of cap, Motilal mid-cap has been doing extremely well, but you can add that only if you're cutting both the flexi caps, in my opinion, and the value discovery, and then you can definitely add on that. So you have then 8 to 9 schemes, which is a fantastic portfolio.
Yes, if at all you've missed out anything, you can watch the show on YouTube and get the answers from there. We move on, and Mehek Pandey from Kolkata. We'll take his question. Mehek?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Fine, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for sending us your query. And you are just 27 years old, and you have what,
No,
9?
ma'am. Actually, this is my daughter's portfolio. I said to review this portfolio.
Your daughter's portfolio. Okay. Okay, so your daughter is 27 years old, right?
Yes.
All right, so she has 9 funds in her portfolio, and is she working? What is she doing?
Working.
Fantastic. Please congratulate her on our behalf for being aware about the importance of investment. And I just wanted to know, she wants to invest for 15 years and there is no specific goal attached to it, no specific corpus that she wants to accumulate?
Only for wealth creating.
All right. Even that goal is not bad. I mean, as long as you are just understanding the process of investment and the benefits in the long term. Shweta, over to you. 9 funds in the portfolio.
Yeah, so 9 funds is not too much, but I think given the amount that we're seeing, 26,000 per month, I would say she can maybe stick to 7 to 8 even, but 9 is absolutely fine. The kind of portfolio that she's sort of built is good as well. It has small cap, it has Nasdaq, it has Nifty 50, it has a combination of contra focused, large and mid cap. I think she's chosen one from each category and sort of invested. So that's looking good. Although I would, like I keep telling investors, keep a goal in mind so it'll get you there faster. In her case, in 15 years, she'd probably get to a crore and a quarter, quarter, so 1.25 crores, depending on how the market is. But if she wants to target better and get to higher numbers or push herself to save more, she will have to put a number to her goals, which will help her push herself even better and invest more. But this is looking good.
All right, goal formation is a very important process of financial planning. Thank you so much, ma'am, for asking your daughter's question. And if she's missed watching this, you can ask her to catch this show on our channel's YouTube, where all the changes in the portfolio are recommended by Shweta. We move on. Okay, so we have Mr. Parminder Jeet Singh.
हाँ जी मैम, this is Parminder.
कैसे हैं सर? हाउ आर यू?
Fine मैम, thank you मैम. How are you?
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much. 10 to 15 years of time horizon you mentioned, sir, and these funds you've accumulated since when?
जी सर, जी मैम.
So you have ABSL Equity Advantage Fund,
Yes.
ICICI Pru US Blue Chip, you have HDFC Hybrid, you have SBI Contra, Nippon India Flexi Cap, Mirae Asset Emerging Blue Chip. What is the goal that you want to achieve?
मैम, एक्चुअली माय गो मैं जाना चाहता हूँ अपनी फैमिली के साथ 10 साल बाद वर्ल्ड टूर पे.
10 साल के बाद जाना है आपको?
हाँ जी मैम.
फैमिली में कितने लोग हैं सर?
मैं फैमिली में दोनों ही हैं, मियाँ बीवी है, बच्चे बाहर सेटल्ड हैं
हाँ.
कनाडा में, बेटी और बेटा. इसलिए मैम तो प्लान कर रहे हैं 10 साल के बाद.
ऑलराइट, निवेश बढ़ाना चाहेंगे आप? बढ़ा पाएंगे?
हाँ जी मैम, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल 10%.
चलिए, बहुत बढ़िया. 10% से स्टेप अप करने का आपका इरादा है. श्वेता, फंड्स बताइएगा.
हाँ, so Mr. Paramjeet Singh has started off well. Again, different categories of investments. There is Equity Advantage Fund. It's doesn't suit his time horizon, but it's okay. There's not too many schemes, so it's kind of manageable. Nippon Flexi Cap, Mirae Asset Emerging Blue Chip, no problem at all. SBI Contra, I would say maybe he could avoid if he wants to cut down to 5 schemes, but otherwise it's fine for now. 12,000 per month, he will get to about 60 lakhs in 15 years time. So if the world tour corpus needs to be bigger, then like he said, 10%, if he's going to increase it every year, then he will get to a much better figure and maybe travel and in luxury as well. So all the best.
No more additions in the portfolio, right? If tomorrow he wants to a 10% step up, he doesn't need to add anything. He can just divide the amount in the existing funds. Can you do that?
मैम, मैं SBI कॉन्ट्रा क्यों बंद करना चाहते हैं? मैम, ये मैं थोड़ा सा उसकी जगह मैं कौन सा फंड लूं?
Shweta?
Sorry, what
So
was
he
his
wants to
question?
understand why he should exit SBI Contra, and in place of that, what other fund can be added?
So he can add on to the Flexi Cap and Emerging, Mirae Asset Emerging itself. Like I said, the only reason I would cut down is to make it like 5 schemes, but no other reason to cut SBI Contra. There is no reason to bring it to 6 funds. But again, like I said, people don't like cutting funds. So no reason for SBI Contra if he doesn't want to. It's absolutely fine. It's doing well. The addition can happen in Nippon Flexi Cap. It can happen in Mirae Asset Emerging. US Blue Chip, it could happen as well because he does get the advantage of currency as well there. So I think these are 3 preferences first that I would add on to.
All right. So सिंह साहब, यहाँ पर आपको निकलने की सलाह इसीलिए दी जा रही है क्योंकि शायद पोर्टफोलियो बड़ा लग रहा है श्वेता को, वरना फंड में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आप उसको रख सकते हैं। और अगर आप निकालने की सोच भी रहे हैं तब भी श्वेता ने आपको जो है रिकमेंडेशन दे दी है। थैंक यू सो मच सर। परमिंदर जी, आपने अपना सवाल भेजा और उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप अपने गोल को पूरा भी करें वर्ल्ड टूर का। ओके,
थैंक यू मैम।
let's move on. We'll take Hardik Yadav's question, and he has emailed us his query, Shweta. So, current lump sum amount that's invested is around 6 lakhs. That's what he's saying, and SIP investment is 15,000. And he has Axis Small Cap, Nippon Growth Fund, Kotak Emerging Equity, Focused SBI Focused Fund, SBI Contra, SBI Large and Mid Cap, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap. 30 years duration, 6.5 crore is his goal. He wants to understand if existing funds in the portfolio are aligned with his goal, and he also wants to understand should he be investing in SBI pension fund through an NPS.
Okay, so for the mutual fund, so he's investing 15,000 for now. If he needs to get to his goal of 6.5 crores, he needs to invest between 18 and 19,000 at least per month. So he will need to push that up consistently over the next couple of years to get this there. In terms of schemes, most of the schemes look good. I would say between SBI Focused and SBI Large and Mid Cap, choose one. There is overlap of portfolio there. I would go with one scheme, maybe a large and mid cap better than focused. But depending on whatever he prefers, between the two, one is absolutely fine. Others are good. He doesn't need to add any more schemes. That is, I think, very important. Don't add any more schemes as you add amounts. Just grow these schemes consistently. So he could start off with adding with Parag Parikh Flexi Cap, because that is something that he can add. Small cap is something that he can add considering his time frame. So Axis Small Cap, something that he can add. Kotak Emerging Equity, he can add considerably more, because it does have a component of large cap in it as well. So I would say to meet his goals, he can do these. In terms of SBI pension fund for NPS, if he already has an NPS, he can do that. But like the purpose is completely different between building a corpus with mutual funds versus NPS pension. So I would want to really understand why he's looking at these two, and then make a recommendation accordingly. Is it for tax saving purposes? Is it for pension purposes? What is really the reason that he's looking at it?
Right, Hardik, I think you're on the call also with us. Earlier we tried calling you. So Shweta has given you the recommendation on your portfolio part. Is there anything else that you want to ask her? If at all you've missed something, you can watch the show on YouTube and get the recommendations from there. But apart from that, any more new query?
May I ask the one question, madam?
Sure, sure.
ओके, वो एसबीआई पेंशन फंड का इसलिए मैं पूछ रहा था कि मैं गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय हूँ यूनियन बैंक ऑफ इंडिया में,
जी।
तो बाय डिफॉल्ट वो एसबीआई पेंशन फंड में मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन जा रहा है एवरी ईयर, तो वो स्विच करने का ऑप्शन मिलता है कि एसबीआई पेंशन फंड में रहना चाहिए या कोई और पेंशन फंड में मैं स्विच करने का ऑप्शन मिलता है, जैसे कि एचडीएफसी वाला है, आईसीआईसीआई का है, एक्सिस का है।
प्रॉब्लम फंड पेंशन फंड से है या स्कीम से है? आपको स्कीम बदलनी तो वो तो आप कर सकते हैं, कि आपको पेंशन फंड ही बदलना है?
पेंशन फंड बदलने की रिक्वायरमेंट है कि ये पेंशन फंड जो बाय डिफॉल्ट मुझे एम्प्लॉयर ने दिया हुआ है वो परफेक्ट है?
आपने नहीं, आप एनपीएस में निवेश कर रहे हैं, एंड श्वेता, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, कॉर्पोरेट स्कीम दैट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, या ओके। सो अगर आपको स्कीम बदलनी है तो शायद वो किया जा सकता है, राइट श्वेता?
हाँ, वो किया जा सकता है। तो आपके जो एसबीआई पेंशन फंड में जो ऑटोमेटिकली जा रहा है, आपको चॉइस है कि वो, और एएमसी जो मैनेज करता है उसमें भी जा सकता है। तो मेरी रेकमेंडेशन रहेगी कि आप एसबीआई यहाँ पे कंटिन्यू करें, वो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट आप एसबीआई ओवरवेट मत हो जाइए। जैसे आपके पोर्टफोलियो में भी काफी एसबीआई है, फोकस्ड, कॉन्ट्रा, लार्ज एंड मिड कैप, तो आप वो एसआईपीज बंद कर दीजिए।
हार्दिक जी,
ओके, श्योर।
आप एसबीआई में नौकरी करते हैं, आपका खाता वहां पर है?
नहीं, मैं यूनियन बैंक में नौकरी कर रहा हूँ।
अच्छा।
और मेरा जो एवरी मंथ जो 15,000 और 14-15,000 अराउंड जाता है, कंट्रीब्यूशन सैलरी में से
जी
एज ए एनपीए न्यू पेंशन स्कीम में, वो एसबीआई फंड हाउस में ये जाता है,
बिल्कुल।
एसबीआई पेंशन फंड प्राइवेट।
तो आप स्कीम बदल सकते हैं, लेकिन जैसा कि श्वेता ने कहा कि ज़्यादा आप फोकस्ड एसबीआई पर अपना ना रखें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अपना सवाल भेजने के लिए। एंड ऑन दैट नोट, श्वेता, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग ऑन दिस शो टुडे, हेल्पिंग आवर व्यूअर्स विद देयर फाइनेंशियल पोर्टफोलियो क्वेरीज। एंड आई एम गोइंग टू लीव आवर व्यूअर्स with our WhatsApp number and email ID, where we keep waiting for your queries. So send us your portfolio queries on our WhatsApp number and email ID, themoneyshow@etnow.tv. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.